Hi and welcome to another MTrack session. In today's session we're going to cover workers or resources. So we're going to basically start out by creating a new resource and then look at some of the information that we can store about them and how that affects things further down the line with regards to reporting, etc. So let's start out. So we open up our MTrack app, which I've got open already. The first thing we do is click on resources, which will load up pretty much all the resources that we have in the system already. So we have everything in here. So a few little notes about the screen that we're looking at here. So in these grids you can actually filter any of the columns. So if we only wanted the workers from farm 2, so we'd filter them by that. And we can actually see the filter parameters displayed below here. So what we're showing at the moment is we only want active workers and we only want workers from farm 2. We could further filter that down by type if we wanted to, so we only want people who are classified as pickers. Okay, so we only get our pickers. We have a handy little count down the bottom here saying how many active pickers we have on farm 2. Okay, so a few things about the screen, as I said. Resource categories are the way we categorize our workers. So we have a number of categories here. If I was to add a new one, let's just say a new cat and save that. Okay. So when it comes to adding a new worker, we'll use our new category worker. So I need to enter a barcode. Now the barcode needs to be unique, so that barcode cannot be shared by anyone else while the worker is basically active or is having their data recorded using a barcode. So in this case I'm going to use, let's just say 785. The worker belongs to farm number 2. His name is, I'm just going to use worker 785. His first name, Peter. You'll notice a lot of these don't actually have names against them because the sample database we use doesn't really, we're not using them currently. The handsets actually display the name only. So let's just say Peter Jones. And he is a new cat worker. We have a thing called a custom category, which we'll cover in a later session, but you can further categorize your workers using this. So I'll just say he's another at the moment. A payroll ID, well, it's how you're going to link the worker to your current payroll system. So let's just say his number E123. Email. So I'm going to just use my email in here. A temporary email anyway. An hourly rate is what his minimum rate should be per hour. So it's whatever is defined by the country where you live. So if it's Australia, New Zealand, the UK, Spain, France, etc., they all have different hourly rates defined by law. And this is also used in some of the mobile applications to automatically apply a rate to hourly work. So in this case I'm just going to use the same as what we've got there, 2020. Allow work. So this activates the worker or allows work to be recorded against him. And the same sort of thing applies to the active flag, which defines them as being active in the system. Date started, so whenever he joined your organization, so I'll just use the 12th. Date of birth, again, this is it's not a required field, but it could be handy to work out things like minimum wage, etc., depending on age. So I'll just say, let's just go back a few years. And that's it. So he's done. I press save, and the worker is now in here. So I should be able to find Peter Jones or Peter. the flags here and just look for. So I have Peter Jones here. Again, well, looking at the search bar here, we can search on pretty much anything that we can see. Okay, so one of the important things at MTrack is actually looking at things like ID cards and barcodes that you'd use to record piecework against your different staff members. So I'm just going to bring Peter up again, and I'm going to print an ID card for him. So I have a credit card sized ID badge I can print off for him, which I can then use on the scanners or the mobile apps. I can also print out Piecework barcodes for him. Actually, I forget what I called him, so he's worker 785. Worker 785, and let's just say I wanted to print 200 barcodes or QR codes in this case out for him, starting at 0. So I can now print these out, give them to him, and he can apply them to any piecework items that he produces, and then they'll be tracked and recorded against him. We can also pay him based on the piece rate applied to whatever he's producing. So in a nutshell, that is how you configure the basic details for a new employee. I'm also going to quickly cover a new feature in MTrack, which is essentially the HR function. So if I click on HR, I'm going to get a list. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong screen here. We've got a human resources and go HR home. And here we go. So if I look up my new worker, was this 785? There we go. I can complete a number of details against him. So, you know, mobile phone numbers, gender, due to leave, let's just say he's going to leave next month, pair IDs, visas, expiry dates, etc. So there's a number of details I can add in here, so we can see things like addresses for next of kin, emergency contacts. We have a questionnaire management system, which is basically a Q&A. We can define our own Q&As, and we can store those against individuals. Holidays, so planned time off. We have a checklist, so you can ensure that that any checks have been done before he starts. So for argument's sake, we could say, well, we've checked his passport on today. Incidents, we can record disciplinary incidents or anything that we'd like to define in here. So let's just say a verbal warning was given today. Health and safety, so we've got things like allergies, so things that we might want to be aware of in the field if you get stung by a bee, and we define that, you know, he's got a severe allergy, which would be 10. Skills, we could have things like a driver's license. Again, we have a rating for it, so, you know, we think he's a good driver, and it's valid until the end of the month. Accommodation, if you provide accommodation to your staff, we have a facility where you can actually store that information against individuals. Again, also an image, we can store a picture of the employee in the system as well. So I hope you found that interesting, and if you need any more details, please feel free to contact us. Thank you. Goodbye.